Welcome back to my channel. This is T. This is a history of crystals video. So with this video, I'm going to talk to you about how crystals are made, where you can find them, and some other tidbits of information on the crystals. So let's first talk about where you can find the crystals. You can find them all over the world. You can find them in Africa, you can find them in the United States, you can find them in Asia, so many different places. And when you find them, you will find them in the mountains and in the Earth's crust. You can also find them in river streams. It just depends on the main location of where they're at. So when you think of how crystals can heal you, you may want to think of how they're created because it will help you to understand how they can help you. There's a whole process that crystals go through in order to be created. And in order for you to be able to use the crystals to heal you, you will have to go through a process kind of like what the crystals go through to get made. So basically, in the Earth's crust, which is primarily where the crystals are made, the crystals will, in order to be formed, the crystals will go through a process that involves lava, heat, solar emissions, chemical impurities, radiation, melting, cooling, pulling apart of the Earth's crust, and the movement of the crystals away from the lava through these different layers of the Earth's crust that eventually will push the crystals up to a place where they can be extracted from the Earth's crust. So sometimes you'll find that crystals will have the same name, but they won't look exactly the same. And this is due to the things that I just told you about. Because with this process, it's not a perfect process, and many things can affect the crystals while they're being created. So the way that the crystal turns out is a representation of what it went through to be created. Let's see what else. So sometimes when crystals are formed, they will be formed in a way where they're connected to other crystals, and sometimes crystals will grow inside of crystals, which I think is pretty cool. There are some crystals that are very hard, and there are some crystals that are very delicate. And there are some that are so delicate that when you hold them, they will break apart in your hand. So you have to be really careful. There are some crystals that are able to be immersed in water, and there are some that are not waterproof. So that's something to keep in mind when you're dealing with them. And there are some crystals that are very small, but they give off a lot of energy. And there are some that are really, really big, but the energy that they give off is not that strong. When I first started working with crystals, I thought that if the crystal size was very large, that I could get a lot of energy from it. But I found out that it just depends on the type of crystal that it is. It depends on what the crystal. It also depends on what the crystal is made out of. And I also found that crystals that have like a glass component to them or are made with elements that are used to create glass tend to have a lot of energy with them. And it's the same when it's a type of, not a crystal, but a natural natural type of element. Like if it has sand in it, then the energy that it puts off will be very strong. So the crystals, like I said, the crystals that have glass type of elements in them or sand elements, the things that make it what it is, give off really good energy. And it doesn't matter what size the element is; it's a matter of what it is and what's in it. So let's see if there's anything else. Um, I will. I don't have anything else to go over, but what you'll notice with my videos is I'll always, or mostly always, touch on the history of the crystals within most of my videos that I make, even though the videos are not specifically based on the history of crystals, because it helps when you're constantly reminded of the history of crystals when you're trying to figure out how the energy works with the crystal. So I thank you for watching this video and all of my other videos, and I will continue to make more because there's just so much that I can talk about, and I get very excited talking about crystals and how their energy helps me to heal. So thanks and take care.